Yeah, fellow Ambazonians, thank you for watching. This is Comrade Fritz Misodi, and you're watching your favorite talk show on IMM Media, Radio and Television. Today we're gonna be talking about the visit of the French ambassador to Bamenda. The French ambassador to Bamenda, the visit came at this time when the Ambazonians are trying to fight against this French colonial system, and we are seeing the French ambassador visiting Bamenda to tell the people that decentralization is good for them. For the past 41 years under the BR regime, the people of Ambazonia have been fighting tooth and nail against this system, the system that has trying to assimilate them, the system that has trying to assimilate, wipe out their identity. We see this coming when all over Africa, most of the former French colonies are trying to revindicate on the system that the French laid on them during their time of independence. And the question most pundits will ask today is that are these former French colonies, are they independent? And Cameroon is part of them. So Cameroon trying to colonize Ambazonia while they are still under colonization by the French looks laughable. We are saying that the struggle that started in 2016 was because of this phenomenon. The Ambazonian people are very resilient. They understand what they are fighting for. The French government knows that Africa has realized themselves, and it's not only in Cameroon that we saw these, that we are seeing this eradication and anti-French sentiments that is rising. But what do we see coming from this visit to Bamenda? His visit to Bamenda is to preach peace, preach decentralization, preach they will come and pour the people of Bamenda money, and so on and so forth. But let's look at the bigger picture. Is this worthy of the 6 to 7 years of fighting where they have killed, they have maimed, they have massacred, they have genocide our people? Our people are still languishing in jail. Our people are still languishing in refugee camps. Our people are internally displaced across the globe. But when we see this kind of phenomenon of the French in Africa, we tend to ask ourselves, are we going to stay in this system, the corrupt system, the French hegemony, the system that the French government has put Cameroon into? No development, no infrastructure, no commodity movement, no, everything is skyrocketing. The prices of goods and services, everything is skyrocketing. But when you see the development of other countries compared to Cameroon today, it's like night and day. It's incomparable, because the development going on today in these countries, you see the fast lane trains, the skyscrapers, the bridges. Okay, these are infrastructure that's supposed to be built by the French, not coming to collect money in Africa and Cameroon. And you are telling us stories. What is decentralization, first of all? What has decentralization brought to all these countries in Africa that French is trying to still recolonize them? That is the question. But from every indication, we are seeing this phenomenon trying to lose its fraction. But what has this benefited the people of Ambazonia in the first place? The people of Ambazonia has everything they need. They don't need the Cameroon government, they don't need the French people to come and tell them how to manage their resources. That is the problem. We don't need French people to come and tell us how good decentralization is, or how good this is, right? Why do you think the French is being sent out from Mali, being sent out from Burkina Faso or Niger, even in Gabon? Now you see Senegal. All these countries are French colonies, former French colonies, that are reivindicating the system, the French system of governance. The British government, when they gave independence to most of the countries, they never went back and be trying to control them, try to change, ask them to maintain the British pounds. They never did that. They said, okay, you can have your own currency, you can have your own system of governance that fits better your own system. That is what the British told most of his colonies. But today, that is the reason why you see the development as compared to the French colonial Africa is far more better than what you see in these French colonial countries, where development is just worst. Look at the amount of coup d'etats happening in all these countries. It's just worst. If the French government sees that you don't want to go in line with their own policy, they will bring in coup d'etat. That coup d'etat, all the countries that are facing coup d'etat today in Africa, that face coup d'etat, even the ones, are caused by France, because they go and meet this government. They tell you have to follow this policy, the 11 Pact that they signed with the French, okay, that all the resources France has control, all your money, your currency, your military. France is the one to send that you have to buy your military weapons, your military materials from the French government. So that is how they have tied these countries. And any president that want to go against this policy will be termed as black, and they will do everything possible to look for some opposition party, pour the guys money, and they'll topple that government through either the military coup or kind of election. Whereas the next person coming in is the French people that have put him there. That is this modus operandi of these people, and we understand all these gimmicks. It's not something we have to be explaining, because we know what the French government is doing in Africa, and that is the same thing they are doing in Cameroon. Then they are trying to put us in that. That's why we say no. The people of Ambazonia will not accept that kind of system where we had a government, we had a country with the same status as Cameroon. We're not to be put on decentralization. Well, what is decentralization? What are you decentralizing? The system that is there, when they tell Cameroon, go for the root causes of this problem to resolve this problem, the Cameroon government does not want to go. So what are you telling us about decentralization? What is decentralization? What are you decentralizing? Give the people their right. Give the people what belongs to them. That is what they want. That is what they wear. That is their own status. They are a country. They are autonomous. They have their own system, their own culture, their own language, everything. They have their own system. They have a boundary, a recognized boundary. They have everything. They have their own constitution. That is how Southern Cameroon is and was and will be. Decentralization, special status, all these things that these people are trying to tell the Cameroon government to do will not work, because our people will not accept that. Our people will not accept anything short of our own country as it was at the time of independence. We were granted independence not to be under La Republique. That was not the purpose of the independence that the United Nations, 64 countries voted for our independence. They never said you stay under La Republique. That's not what they voted for. If not, they wouldn't have even voted for our independence. They would just say, okay, just go and join those people there. But they first of all voted for the independence of Southern Cameroon. then they will tell you, okay, do you want to join the Nigeria under a federal system, or you want to join the French Cameroon under a federal system? And from the experience that our parents had with Nigeria, you know, that federal system that did not work out, where our parents quit the Nigerian house of Enugu. Our parents saw that they had some 40 years with living with Nigerians. So Southern Cameroon is not a territory to be say you want to decentralize them, you want to do. It doesn't work like that. We had a country. Our parents left the Nigerian federal system because it did not work for them. We came and say, okay, let's see if we can work with the you know, under the fourth federal what they call a referendum or whatever. But that is what we are talking about, that the people of Amazonia are a distinct people. Unless the government of Cameroon and the French government understand that, we will not see you guys trying to recolonize us when we are a country, we are a people, we have our own distinct everything. The French never colonized us. The French never colonized us. Why should they come and try to lay claim on us? The British colonized us. The British left. What is the French doing in our own territory, for God's sake? They should stay in Yaoundé. They colonized the French Cameroon. They colonized Cameroon. They did not colonize Amazonia. The British said they granted our independence. That is what happened. 64 countries that voted for independence are still there. They know that they had a vote for the people of Amazonia, Southern Cameroon, in 1961. They voted. He has no historical argument that you can bring to try to put us under a decentralized system where our people don't have any rights, our people are still being killed, our people are still being you know, assimilated. No, that is not what our parents told us. That is not what we saw our parents doing. You know, the system our parents was very, very the British Anglo-Saxon system, which is very, very workable for us. We don't want the French system. The French system has failed across Africa. The French system has failed woefully across Africa. That's why you see most countries don't want to even use the French franc anymore. The Sahel countries, the Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso are trying to, I think they already created their own currency that's going to be operational soon, called the Sahel. They also formed a regional bloc called Sahel. And they said any country, any one of these three countries that are attacked, it's an attack to all three countries. It means that all three countries will fight a war against you. That's why the French could not say anything. And that is the modus operandi of any country that France is still putting their influence on them. It is very clear. We have to understand this. Now, when you see the French ambassador rushing to Bamenda, what do you think about that? Think about that. What do you think? They are sending something. Okay. Even the Nigerian press, Nigerian TV, and even CRTV is reporting about the Nera 10, the release of the Nera 10, and how the working group is trying to work on that. Yeah, that's what is happening, and it's very clear. Okay, let's listen to CRTV on this.
Put this and say it.
Wait, let me put that audio where the CRTV is talking on that. Okay.
The United Nations Human Rights Working Group has called for the immediate and unconditional release of the separatist leader Sisiku Julius Ayuk-Tabem and his co-accused. The decision was adopted by the Working Group on Arbitrary Detention at its 94th session. According to the UN, the detention of the separatist leader and his co-detainees is arbitrary. Vanessa Mafoke.
According to the document that sanctioned the 94th session of the United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention, the deprivation of liberty of Sisiku Ayuk Tabem, Wilfred Tassan, Ngala Ufo, Blaise Sebidzem, Elias Ebai, Fidelis Ndeche, Egbert Ntui Ogok, Henry Tatakimeng, and Augustine Warsum is in violation of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights as well as the International Convention relating to civil and political rights and is therefore arbitrary. Similarly, working group says that the rights of the Nera 10 leaders have never been respected, neither by the Nigerian nor the Cameroonian governments. The group recounts that Sisiku Ayuk Tabem and his 9 co-accused were abducted on the 5th of January 2018 at Nera Hotel in Nigeria, detained under inhuman conditions and forcefully deported to said in Cameroon. During the first 6 months of their detention at the Secretariat of State for Defense, the UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention says the 10 individuals were tortured, bundled in minute cells infested by mosquitoes, rodents, cockroaches, ants, lizards, and so on. They were not let out of their cells that had no windows or ventilation except on few occasions in the middle of the night for interrogation. The UN regrets that despite a ruling by the Federal High Court of Nigeria in 2019 that the arrest and exportation of Sisiku and Co. was illegal and that the individuals should be returned to Nigeria, the Nigerian government is yet to react. The same applies to the Fundi High Court in Yaoundé that reportedly threw out a habeas corpus on behalf of the 10 Nera leaders without a hearing. All efforts by the UN to have the Nigerian and Cameroonian governments react on the state of detention of Sisiku Ayuk Tabe and Co. have been futile. The 10 were sentenced to life in prison in 2019 by a military court for secession and tourism.
Vanessa Mafoken reporting. In health, the 5th phase of the
Yeah, so sorry for that small, so that is the modus operandi of Cameroon government trying to cajole these guys. But the CRTV is reporting it, and all these other people are reporting it. You can say, you can tell that the Cameroon government is wrong. The Nigerian government was wrong then. They realized their mistake. That's why they are calling, even the CRTV is telling them that, oh, this is the United Nations calling on the release of the Nera 10.
The Cameroon government cajoled these guys, took them to say they want to talk to them. Siseko was in America. We had a meeting with him here in America. We had everything, and we told him, you better stay in America, seek asylum here, and have your papers here in America so that you are protected by America. Because when American government protects you, no country can come to America and arrest anybody here. American government will not ever allow that, because they will know that their image is tainted. Their image will be tainted. And anything that happens in America it's just like wildfire. So no, Cameroon government cannot come here like they were trying to do. Oh, then they went and hired a lobby to say, okay, they should arrest activists in America. Or the American government does not work like that. They want to understand why you think these people should be arrested and for what reason. A rogue government, a rogue regime that has been in power for 41 years. What kind of democracy are you talking about? What kind of democratic system are you preaching that you can support that kind of government? To keep re-electing somebody. People are just they say they are re-elected. I always question, who said that there's election in that country in the first place? Whoever said that there's a transparent, free, fair election in that country? Because when you elect somebody like that without an opposition party, is that not one party system? That is, they went back to the same system that they had back in the days when Pobia took over power. It was just CNU. CNU was changed to CPDM, right? And today, what do you have? CPDM. The only time that multi-party system was accepted is when Frundi and the Yondo Black, they formed the SDF, and there was bloodshed. It wasn't easy for SDF to become an opposition party, and until Frundi won the election. But when we listen to somebody like Abe Zongan explained that and told us Frundi won the election, but they said no, they cannot give it to an Anglophone. They said they cannot give it to an Anglophone. So when we see all these people ruin about, they want to run for, they want to be president, they want to be president in which country? President in which country? And how is that, first of all, going to be beneficial to the people of Amazonia? Because the same president you are electing will just come and follow the same Pobia's footstep. So what change do you dream of post-Pobia or pre-Pobia, after Pobia? What change do you think of? Because it's the same people that are just being mixed up. Okay, CPGM is one. That's why some people were saying that, Kamto can bring change. Have you heard Kamto speaking? Kamto said he will not do anything to change what he believed. He believed that the people of Amazonia will remain under them. So Kamto never told you who else can come again and change it. Kamto is a CPGM person. Anybody that wants to work under the CPGM, it's very hard for you to come and tell us today that you are not CPGM. Very difficult. Because they'll use you, create a political party for you, support you. Tell people, come to president. It's CPGM, man. This government is very wise. All these guys going about Cabra Libi, all these guys going, they are sponsored by the government. Because you know how they make their own money. These guys make money through these contracts. They take huge contracts. They don't even need the government money no more. They just take those contracts. They'll give it to them. This guy in SDF, this guy now, he says is the chairman of SDF, Ozi. How do they make their money? The government just give them those contracts. Government contracts. That's how they live. If they make one contract, they have 50 million. They make this contract 40 million. That's how they make their own money. So don't come and tell us that there's an opposition there, that there will be free and fair election. Listen to this report from about the Nera 10 and how the Cameroon government is trying to put. They are trying to question the Cameroon government to release all the Nera 10.
Away from that, convicted university teachers from some Nigerian universities are seeking the intervention of President Tinubu for diplomatic pardon. They've also petitioned the House of Representatives for its intervention. Jokia reports.
2018, 6 registered Cameroonian refugee professors and 4 Nigerians were arrested in an Abuja hotel by security agents from Cameroon and Nigeria. The professors were repatriated to Cameroon, tried by a military tribunal for terrorism, and sentenced to life imprisonment. Since then, their fate continues to hang in the balance. Through their counsels, the petitioners say, having lived in Nigeria for more than 10 years before their travails, they are protected by the Refugee Convention of 1951 and its protocols of 1967, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and the Refugee Act of 1989 as amended. They insist the arrest and subsequent conviction were illegal, unconstitutional, and illegitimate.
You cannot negotiate with somebody who is not free. One of them, that former deputy registrar at ABU, he was 65 years old. And according to the law of Cameroon, you cannot sentence a man who is 65 years old with life imprisonment. They fined him the equivalent of $533 million US.
They were arrested here in Nigeria. They were living here in Nigeria, and they were not charged here in Nigeria. Where were they in Cameroon committing these offenses that they were charged in Cameroon?
They seek the intervention of the federal government in getting freedom and justice for the professors. The petitioners also expressed confidence in the ability of the parliament to wade in and ensure justice is served.
And the federal government of Nigeria to intervene diplomatically and by other means to first of all secure the release of these people, their liberty, and then if they are free, it is now up to them to lead their people one way or the other to negotiate, either to negotiate with the Cameroonian state or whatever.
The petition wants the government of Nigeria to take action and implement the rulings in the 3 judgments of the Federal High Court of Abuja in 2019, ordering the release and compensation of the petitioners. Also in the petition, the convicted professors want the House of Representatives to cause the Federal Republic of Nigeria to institute an urgent action to secure the implementation of the verdict of the UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention, which called for their unconditional release. Jokia, TVC News.
Wow, so you can see from the report, these professors, these Ambazonian leaders, they were professors in Nigeria. They were Nigerian citizens before the struggle started in 2016. Okay, so any body telling you something different, they don't understand how the international system work. When somebody live in a country for that long and you are working there as a professor, you have everything there, no country can just come and arrest you like that. What kind of international convention do they sign, that Cameroon government sign, that they can just go to a country and arrest somebody? You know,
There's no convention that say you can go to a country, somebody who has been like okay, for example, somebody take American citizen, that once you are declared a citizen of that country, you are covered by that country. And once you are granted asylum by that country, you are covered by that country. So Nigerian government made a mistake, or some few unscrupulous leaders in Nigeria who sided with the Cameroon government. They did not know the international repercussions. They never understood that what they are doing will become more of international something, right? It's not just like releasing anybody from somewhere and say, okay, this person. No, you are going against international. It's about 2 countries, and if there is no pact, there is no international law that guides what you're doing, the international law will surpass the local law. Okay, if international law states that refugee rights should be protected, You cannot use your local law and go against the refugee right. It doesn't work like that. Okay, if international laws say that the universal right, the universal declaration of human rights is for all countries. That means everybody is equal in front of the law. Everybody's right should be respected. And that is the universal right. It has nothing to do with what you think about your law in your own country. No. What you're doing should go in between two countries, should follow international law. It doesn't matter what you're doing and you just go around and do things like that thinking that it's your two countries deciding on people's rights. No. Everybody has rights, equal rights in front of the law. International law will always cover that. Then the international law of the refugee. Half or if not all sought asylum in Nigeria at one point before becoming even the professors, and they were studying in Nigeria, start working in Nigeria. So you cannot just go and arrest people like that. They were called also by that law, that 1951 refugee law. Okay, that law guaranteed the security, the protection of anybody that goes to a country to seek asylum. Every country must respect an asylum seeker, have due process of any single asylum seeker before they can determine that person's asylum case is not or accepted. But that person must go through the normal asylum process. It's just like that. That's why a country cannot refuse an asylum seeker based on the fact that there are too many asylum people. No. You must look for an alternative. Okay. Some countries have agreement with other countries. Okay, they can say, okay, if the asylum seeker come to my country and I don't have enough space to keep them, you can negotiate with a third party country. But you cannot send them back to a country that they are running from. No. But you can negotiate them to go to another country. Okay. You can process them. Like what America is trying to do now. They are processing asylum seekers in Mexico because of the influx of, so they want to process them there. When they process you there, then you can enter America. That's an agreement. But you cannot send people who are coming to your country, like America, will send them. If you are Cameroonians, they come to seek asylum instead of sending them to Mexico as an agreement for them to be processed before entering America, you send them back to Cameroon. That is not what the international law of refugees stated. Okay, that law was promulgated in 1951. They never said a country should reject asylum seekers based on any reason other than making sure that they have that due process. Okay, those three category of people should be protected. Anybody that is being pursued by the government for their political opinion, anybody that is being pursued for their belonging to a particular clan or religion or something, okay, or anybody that has a different status, that is not covered, should be protected. So no matter what happens, this case has nothing to do with they are criminals. No, they are Nigerians and professors who are living in Nigeria, and they've been arrested based on the fact that Cameroon government want them because of their political opinion, which is the number one reason that any country will ever protect you. First of all, if a government is looking for you because of your political opinion, that's political asylum. That is the number one reason for political asylum. Why is the government looking for you? Because of your opposition to the system. So you must be protected. But La Republic did not follow due process. That is why the Nigerian High Court passed a judgment. Now we are seeing the Nigerian Parliament passing a judgment, and we're also seeing the the international human right, for on illegal arrest, trying to put their voice to. I was surprised hearing even the CRTV talking about this, because it is against international law for you to go to a country and arrest people like that. Okay, you have to follow due process before you can do that. Okay, and the law that say that they should send anybody that is opposed to the government for life imprisonment. Which country has ever given that kind of sentence? Very harsh sentencing, life imprisonment for people who are opposed to the system, that is putting them in bondage, or that is trying to recolonize them. You give them life imprisonment, and not in a civilian court, in a military court. Because if it's a civilian court, they'll try them in Ambazonia, southern Cameroon, with the common law system that they know. Okay, the common law system will grant you bail. The common law system will not keep you in jail forever. They have the bail bond system. You grant you bail. You have a court date. You are attending your court cases as you are going there. But the civil law system is not like that. They will put you in. They say awaiting trial. You're awaiting trial in jail, where you can get bond to go out and try to manage yourself, because put you there, you are left on your own. Financially, morally, people get stressed up and even die there because of the system. But that is the reason why they put you there in the first place, because normally with due process, you have bail, come out, follow your case, go to court, attend court dates and everything. That is the system. But in a system that they want to punish you, they first of all send you incommunicado. Then you only realize yourself when you are in those dungeons in either the military court or the military jail, or some other dark cell that these guys were put in, under crude, humane conditions. For almost 6 months, we never knew where these people were. They were put under very inhumane conditions. And this is all against the human right of refugee and all this. But when you see somebody like the French ambassador now going to Bamenda, what is he going to do there? What the international community should be doing is to tell the Cameroon government to go to negotiation table. It's not going to Bamenda and wearing this huga, that TOGU. That's not what the Amazonian people are asking for. The Amazonian people are not asking for you to come there and be smiling, telling them about this decentralization. What is decentralization? The Amazonian people want to negotiate. We want to negotiate and end this crisis. We are not happy being in a 7-year-old war where they are killing our people. We are not happy with that. You cannot come here and be smiling. Tell the Cameroon government, go to the negotiation table. This is what Ambassador Thibault Nagy wrote when he went to Canada. Ambassador Thibault Nagy is a very, very staunch person, right? He understands the whole system. He said, having just been to Canada to see how 80% Anglophone majority treat the Francophone minority with dignity makes me grieve for Cameroon's Ambazonians. If only Cameroon's Francophone regime deal with their Anglophone the same way, there will be no Anglophone Ambazonian conflict. It's tragic, right? That's Thibault Nagy, right? You see, Thibault Nagy is somebody who has been the ambassador to Cameroon. He has been a former ambassador for African affairs. It means that the whole Africa, he was the one representing America. So he is saying he understands the system. we joined La Republic, you know, owing to the system that we saw in Nigeria. Our parents say maybe the French Cameroon joining them in this federal system will be good, right? In 1961, when our people, when the United Nations voted for our independence and asked us to join Nigeria or join La Republic, the vote came out to be that they voted to join, right? But on a federal system, that should be clear, because sometimes the La Republic people say, oh, say we came to join them. But do we join you people because we wanted to be like this, or for our culture, everything to be wiped out? No, our people joined because they believe that they will still have their own governance. Okay, it will be a federal system. That federal system will have our own parliament, our own house of chiefs. Everything will still maintain our everything, right? It wasn't a system that they will just come and wipe out everything. They don't want us to celebrate our own independence. They don't want us to hold our flag. Come on, what kind of system is that? Even in United Kingdom today, when they say United Kingdom, these are countries that come together, but they respect individual. Wales, Scotland, all these countries, Ireland, they form the United Kingdom, but they respect each other's. Even in Canada, like Tibon Nagy just mentioned, right? It's the same thing where we have 80% of Anglophones, right? It's the opposite, right? This time around, where you have 80% Anglophones, then 20% of the French people there are 20% in Canada. If you go to Quebec is a part of French Canada. But do you know the Quebec people have their government? They have their own lottery. If you want to go to Quebec, it's a different lottery from Canadian lottery. You see, so they are 20%, but they respect them. In that region is French. You cannot change that, and they respect that region. And they have a system that the presidency is rotative. It means that if a president comes from Canada, the English part, he will rule for 8 years. The next president will come from Quebec. Justin Trudeau now, that the current prime minister, is from Quebec. But Quebec is just 20% of Canada population too, which is French. Now, if not of that system, do you think the Quebecois, they call them the Quebecois, the Quebecians, as we call it in English, do you think the Quebecians can accept to stay in Canada if they were not granted that respect, that dignity, okay, respecting their boundary? They know that that's why you cannot go to Canada. You say, no, they have Quebec. Quebec is French. It's a French part. Okay, and they have had about two referendums, as we call it, right? Two. But the Quebecois, the Quebecians said no, they prefer to stay within Canada because of the way they are being treated, the way the federal system of Canada is being done. They make sure that they share the national cake. They share that system, making sure that they don't discriminate against them. Okay. The power is rotative. What I mean is that they will share power. They know that this, after 8 years, the next president is automatically coming from Canada, all these other areas. After another 8 years, the next they have the prime minister, right? The next prime minister will come from this area. They don't even argue about that because it's on the constitution, on their federal constitution. Okay, that is the difference. That is, I'm just saying this because this is what our parents were hoping it would be when they joined La Republic. They were hoping that it was a system of shared power. Okay, system that they would say, okay, this time this president will come from this time. This time this president will come from this area. Okay, it would have been a flipping. Our parents did not sign up for 20 years of Aijo government, 41 years of Biya government. That's not what our president, our people sign up for. That is why we will not buy into any garbage that these people are trying to sell to us. Okay. So thank you for watching. Thank you, and God bless Amazonia. And we'll keep the fight. We'll keep the fight. We'll keep the fight. Okay. One love, one spirit. Thank you for watching.